Okay. Nick, this is your squad. They're currently the 5th seed. Are you at all worried?
I think they're the best team in the NFL. But that is a horrendous, lingering, painful loss that I am of the belief that if you are a team that has a real shot and real expectation to win the Super Bowl, maybe this is bad for the show at times because I am so focused on the playoffs, that the entire purpose of the regular season is simple, binary, set yourself up for the postseason as well as possible. That is for teams that are building or young or, new coach, whatever. But for a team like the Rams or the Eagles or the Chiefs this year, it didn't work out for the Bills. It is as simple as healthy as possible, best path, best seed for the postseason. And the Rams had it all done. They are up 16 points with the added benefit of they are going to absolutely own the Seahawks and their quarterback mentally, who I think is the second best team in the conference. If they were to play again, everything was rolling, and then a cascade of errors, some unlucky, i.e. the 2-point conversion, some unforced, i.e. what I thought was Sean McVay not understanding in overtime that a tie for them was almost the exact same as a win, which should have adjusted his overtime strategy.
A tie for them was
a tie for them because then they have the head-to-head with Seattle. So it's this because it's 1-0-1.
Right.
For Seattle, a tie was no good. For the Rams,
but you wanted them to go for 2?
The Rams on their touchdown, 100%. Because at that point, the question you're asking yourself, if Seattle doesn't score a touchdown, it's moot anyway. So you need to be asking yourself, do we have a better chance of getting a 2-point conversion or stopping a 2-point conversion? And when you have moved the ball at will all game, I would have gone for it. But it wasn't just that. Sean McVay, after being so aggressive in the first half, got conservative in the fourth quarter. They had so many opportunities to essentially lock up the 1 seed and not give Darnold the chance for this redemption where we are all talking, they're dead, you can't trust him, and they blew it. And so I still like their chances because I think they are the best team, but they are now likely going to be on the road the whole time. They are likely not going to get a round 1 bye, and that takes them from, to me, where they were, going to be overwhelming favorites for the NFC to the best team, but I don't even know if they're favorites. And so I think it is a devastating loss.
They're still alive. I don't know who the freaking best team in the NFL is. I don't know that there is one. There are usually years where it's like 2 teams, maybe, certainly when the Chiefs have won it, where, okay, they look like the best team. It's wide open, man. It is wide open, and they're one of the teams that has a shot. But I don't see how you can say they're, like, definitively the best team in the NFC. Seattle, if I'm Seattle, I'm thinking, we got them. We turned the ball over 4 times the last time we played them. Our quarterback was horrible, and they beat us by 2 in their building.
But why would you
We just turned the ball over 3 times last night. They turned it over, didn't turn it over at all. And we came back and beat them. Like, the turnover ratio in this series between these 2 teams this year is 7-1. And yet it was a split. And the game they won by 2 points. So I don't see how the Rams are sitting there thinking, we got Seattle. Like, Seattle should feel like we can beat the Rams if we just play clean football. Because we have them in every other area.
But don't you think that the Rams look at it like those aren't unforced turnovers? It's our defense forcing Sam Darnold into mistakes.
Yeah. I think some of it's Sam Darnold making mistakes too. Like I think it's always kind of the team that turns it over and the good defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams should really take a lot of that, a lot of the credit for what they've been able to do against the Seahawks, especially defensively. I do not chalk it up to just, oh, Sam is not good enough. It's I keep saying this, it was defensive masterclass, an absolute defensive masterclass. And like I said in my earlier video with the herd, Like, the broadcast team spoon-fed it to all of us about what they're able to do defensively and offensively. Blaming Sean McVay here is comically, hilariously absurd, and the definition of insanity. Sean McVay's coaching in this game was through the roof. It was masterclass after masterclass after masterclass after masterclass. He was scheming guys wide open in ways that the only way I've ever seen it is with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, it was absolute pure brilliance when McVay started taking blame for anything in the first half. Again, the broadcast team, Kirk and company, were laughing and saying, "What is this guy talking about right now? He has been unbelievable." McVay had been absolutely, positively unbelievable. 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 And it was a masterclass on using the run game to set up the passing game. And he stuck with it, and he kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and it was brilliant. And it wasn't a matter of getting now conservative. Matthew Stafford started missing a few throws, and now the Seahawks were able to finally start to generate pressure and now, lock up the receivers. So it wasn't about getting conservative. Stafford now was now forced to make not only more difficult throws just from the pocket, but now just more difficulty in terms of pressure bearing down on him as well from a pass rush. So that's what then started to shift big time. And the run game was getting swallowed up, where in the first half it wasn't. They were able to get these 4-5 yards consistently and regularly, constantly having 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. It was just favorable downs again and again and again and again. And so I really truly believe that if you're a Rams fan and you're the Rams, you should still feel great. This is what I kept saying. I said it during the live broadcast, and I said it probably in my Seahawks video, and I said it in the Rams video, and I'll say it again. Sean McVay is without a doubt the most dangerous weapon in the entire playoffs right now. He is the person that you should fear the most, because the coaching is way more consistent than a player in that regard. Because I would say Josh Allen is the scariest player, and he can do anything at any moment, but it is really hard to do that. It's really hard to carry a team. Maybe if he had a better roster around him and better coaching, then sure. But I look at Sean McVay in a vacuum, and I'm like, that is the scariest guy. You should just say, I am afraid to go up against Sean McVay. They were torching that Seattle Seahawks defense. Torching them. Torching. And that was Sean McVay. That was undeniably Sean McVay. So that's why blaming Sean McVay is just insane. And now you said you wanted them to go for the 2-point conversion is so silly. I understand that you're trying to now kind of hedge a bet in the sense of listen, we're going to go for 2 here, and if we don't get it, we're still going to try to have our defense stop them because they have to have a touchdown. But now a field goal wins it, which is devastating where a tie doesn't. So going for 2 doesn't make any sense because you're now trusting we're going to put up 7 points, and now we're going to trust our defense to ensure that they either don't get a touchdown, but if they do get a touchdown, we're now going to trust that they're not going to not only get a touchdown, but then also convert now a third 2-point conversion. So it's not that Sean McVay didn't unders, right? Sean McVay going into this game didn't understand that a tie is... I understood it in the first 2 minutes of watching this game. I was like, oh, a tie actually is pretty much just as good as a win here, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to take that. Sean McVay didn't understand that. No, you get the touchdown, you score, you kick the extra point, you're satisfied with 7. And now the only way you lose this game in terms of not at least getting a tie is by giving up a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That's 2 things. Whereas if you go for 2 and now, let's say you miss it, now it's just a basic touchdown and an extra point. Now you're banking on a missed extra point, which is not the same thing as 2 things, because we'll see extra points for the most part as 99% of the time a gimme of. So it doesn't make any sense. None. 0. If there was a situation where McVay decided to kick a field goal and at 4th and 1 or something at the 8-yard line, then I could understand we can kind of try to figure out the logic and, being conservative, we're now a touchdown lose. Then I could understand that. But that's not the case. Saying oh, he absolutely should have gone for 2. No. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Wholeheartedly. You're thinking that this team is going to be able to hit 3 2-point conversions. 3 2-point conversions. if 2-point conversions were that easy, everybody would just be doing it all the time. It would be done all the time. And that's obviously not the case. Blame Sean McVay. And now you're afraid that this team can't go on the road. Like, I do love these types of moments where Rams fans were trying to pull me down, or Stafford fans, they're like, you don't like the Rams? And it's like, again, you guys can't be any more confused. I think the Rams are elite. I think Stafford is elite. McVay is elite. I think that they're an incredibly dangerous team and the team that I trust the most. And you're like, you just can't agree with Nick Wright. And now Nick Wright out here on this loss is like, this is devastating. This crushes their chances to win. Now they're on the road, and I don't know if they're going to be favored. And I'm like, are you like, what? I'm now afraid now because they're going to be on the road. Yeah, it's harder. And I do think in a controlled environment, that's when you get the maximum out of a Stafford and a McVay, right? You get to really play 100% your brand of football. Whereas if it's really cold and rainy and windy and snowy, that changes things, right? Like, and it's not a perfect scenario for you. So potentially going on the road against the Bears, the Eagles, the Packers, I don't think that necessarily brings out the best version of them. But like, the Rams aren't fragile. The Rams aren't fragile. Matthew Stafford isn't fragile. Pukua isn't fragile. Maybe mentally. But Devontae is not fragile. This defense isn't fragile. Shula is not fragile. Like what? Yeah. First round bye. Spectacular home field advantage throughout the whole course of Elves. Spectacular. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's like that for every single team. It's like that for every single team. And do I think on a spectrum, because Matthew Stafford specifically is a little bit older. And so I do think that cold weather games and snow and stuff could disrupt him maybe a little bit more than a younger quarterback in this prime. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although Aaron and Stafford are kind of, pushing up against that narrative. And so do I think that is technically the biggest threat against the Rams, is some of these weird weathered conditions and being on the road, and it just, you just can't maximize the Stafford, right? Like the Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins playing in like 10-degree weather. That's not maximizing what either of those teams do. If they're playing indoors in a warm area in Miami, that game is going to fundamentally change. And so that does hurt the Rams in a way that it might not hurt some of these other teams as much. Don't mistake that with fragility. Don't mistake that with falling off a cliff. Don't mistake that of just like, now it's an uphill battle. If you believe that, then you never really believed in the Rams. You never really believed that Stafford and company are that great of a team. And that doesn't make sense to me then. And again, that, my friends, is called consistency. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Los Angeles Rams? Are you worried about them after this crushing loss for sure? But do you feel optimistic? Like, I'm curious how Rams fans feel specifically about the thoughts beyond this tough loss. Because it's obviously a tough loss. Obviously, you're upset and all that. But, like, how do you feel about the team? Has any of your confidence wavered around them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.